Thank you.
Pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
So, EHA is back after 2 years. So far,
Yes.
how has your experience been at the event?
Excellent. I think, hats off
Okay.
to the organizer, especially Bhuvanesh. And he obviously has a relationship, which is something we really value, in our business. More than the commercial and every other kind of success, the importance that is placed on building relationships and leveraging them, I think it's fantastic because the kind of turnout we've had, representation from various brands, respected hoteliers who've been legends and stalwarts in their time and even today, and also the present set of leaders and hopefully through the audience, both in person and virtually, future leaders and future colleagues, to connect with them, and if it goes beyond that, even the world at large.
Okay.
Our guests, our ownerships, who give us the place to where we make our livelihoods. If it reaches them, this message would be fantastic.
That's great to hear. In your opinion, what has the role of BW Hotelier been in the last 8 years as far as the Indian hospitality industry is concerned?
I think it's fantastic to have a respected and credible body making a mark in recognizing, and here I place a great deal of emphasis on the credibility of recognizing professionals in their field, such that we know who's the best, and it's not selected through any bias, but by a participative set of panels who scrutinize and examine the criteria under which winners are selected. And I think that it encourages professionals, it also recognizes them, and it helps others to emulate
Okay.
those that are recognized for their excellence in the field in amongst their peers, not just their own bosses. It's one thing, and it's always pleasing to receive praise, but it's quite another thing to be recognized on a platform like this. So one is recognition for professionals. Second is being the voice of the industry and using relationships, obtaining for us the forum where the voice of the industry can be heard, and reasonably so, and helping the efforts of professionals and our leaders who are already engaging with the government and getting things done, because we are at the end of the day huge significant employers, also contributors to the economy in GDP, and reflecting and contributing not only directly to the economy of any area where the hotel is, but the wider economy and the multiplier effect that hotels and tourism have to the economy of any area. So in that sense, to being the voice of this and showcasing it so brilliantly, so professionally, I think it's fantastic. And I think shout out to sponsors other than Radisson Hotel Group.
Okay.
Just look at the profile of organizations who are supporting this, and I think that itself is testimony
Right.
to what it stands for, BW Hotel.
Right. Very well put, sir. Last question. Changing consumer preferences has been a big, let's say, part of the whole process in the last 2+ years. What are the major challenges that you have faced with regard to this?
Of course, the biggest challenge was that it was unexpected. So one was to regain equilibrium, and I think we did it pretty fast. And we were able to accommodate the completely different set of guests that were staying in hotels as compared to what was there just prior to the pandemic. You had people under quarantine, whether it was guests in transit or whether it was members of the Corona warriors, COVID warriors, the essential services, medical fraternity, law enforcement, and so on and so forth. The modus operandi, in the sense gearing and recalibrating services to meet that requirement. And I think the speed at which we did that, learnt it and then rolled it out was impressive, but we got better and better at it. unfortunate that we faced three distinct phases of the pandemic. First one took in terms of recovery maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months for some. Then it came down to a month, and by the time it was the third phase, it was less than a week, and it was just a blip. Not much was felt. And I think that now we are geared for at least this sort of a contingency. Not that we'd like to face it again, but I think that and we talk about resilience. It's fantastic to be able to bounce back to normalcy, or near normalcy. I think this is better than normal in some cases for us, at least in Radisson Hotel Group.
Right.
Business is booming like never before. So that's when consumer preferences have also changed. There's a great deal of emphasis on safety in the terms of hygiene and safety in terms of exposure to what could be something that would impact one's health. I also find that it produced and provided an opportunity for exploring the local things in the vicinity. So you have hotels in proximity to big cities, which are good getaways, catering to the way that India takes a holiday. So Radisson Hotel Group, as we say, has a hotel every 4-hour drive away.
Okay.
And you can drive from Kashmir all the way down to Kerala, or from Gujarat all the way across to Meghalaya. And more often than not, you'll find hotels within 4-hour driving distance. One of the things we're doing is a Radisson India road trip, enabled by even accessible to electric vehicles,
Okay.
which is now a trend, and we've got EV chargers to provide comfort and reassurance to help our guests get over the phenomenon known as range anxiety if you're driving a battery-powered vehicle. So whilst you relax, your vehicle charges. It receives the same care that internal combustion engine would receive in terms of cleaning opportunities and reconditioning it for the next journey. And I think that's the way that our guests are traveling to our resorts, all of which are booming. And some are even, there's also a distinct emergence of something called business and leisure blended, bleisure as they call it. It's a funny sounding word, but it's, you work and then you holiday with the family as well, who've traveled with you, and hopefully
Right.
extend your stay. That's working very well for us. And of course, also the fact that weddings have returned with a big bang, and 23 is going to be a big year.
True.
For that market, certainly for the holiday market as well, lots of, even I think the highest number of long weekends compared to the previous years, and a highest number of auspicious dates. And now I think that, there's a market for weddings beyond auspicious days as well, not just in communities that don't observe that, but generally even for other communities. So I think, we welcome all of this. It's a good opportunity to recover and to, look after the interests of all stakeholders in this business.
Great. Hope it stays that way.
Yes, indeed. Thank you
sir.
much.
Pleasure
My
having you
pleasure.
here.
Thank you.
Great chatting.
Thank you.